How's it going, guys? My name is Oliver. In today's video, I'll be explaining how I was able to grow my business to 15 grand a month. Now, I was able to do this in 2 months, which I find it to be pretty impressive. Granted, I did have experience starting other businesses and also experience in sales and marketing. But the reason why I'm making this video today, I just want to show you guys how easily you guys could copy and replicate what I did to grow my business. Hopefully, you guys can learn from my experience, learn a couple of new things, and apply what I did to your businesses to be able to grow them to a similar income that I was able to do. So let's get started. A little backstory before I started my business. I was the type of person to kind of try one business for a couple of months. It wouldn't work. I would give up. I would try something out for a couple of months. It wouldn't work, and I would repeat kind of the cycle of trying to find something new, whether it be drop shipping, social media marketing, affiliate marketing. I've pretty much tried everything. And from doing that, I slowly started to realize that no matter what type of business you decide to start, there are a couple of skills that you're always going to need, and one of them being sales. So I realized that instead of jumping from one business to another, let's learn the basics, and once I master them, maybe something will come to mind. So what I decided to do is to focus on learning sales rather than actually starting a business. So I read a couple of books, I watched a couple of videos, and I actually ended up doing a summer job working door-to-door sales. I was selling pest control. Now, when I started this job, I was really scared. I was like, what if, because this job was purely paid by commission. So if you didn't make any sales, you weren't getting paid. And I'm in college, so summers are the bulk of where I was making my money. So I needed this to work, because if not, I was going to be screwed for the rest of the year. So I started the job. Like I said, I read a couple of books, I watched a couple of videos. I fully expected my first 2 weeks to not make a single sale. I started working. First day I made 2 sales. So I was very happy. I had good momentum. I kept going on, and I ended up having a pretty good summer. And during this it was like a 3-4 month job. I learned a crazy amount about sales. I'm knocking about 100 doors per day, so I'm doing about 100 sales presentations to potential clients. After 3 months of doing that, you get pretty good at negotiating, selling, prospecting, upselling, downselling, pretty much every basic skill you would need to start a business. So at the end of the summer, I realized that with this skill set, I was confident in myself that I would be able to sell pretty much anything going door to door. So that's when I had the idea of starting a window cleaning company. I watched some Instagram post or YouTube video about some guy like selling window cleaning door to door knocking, and he was making pretty good money. And I'm like, I can do this. Like, it's not that hard. Like, if I can sell pest control, I can easily sell window cleaning services as well. Bought the equipment. It costed me about $1,500, and I had like the huge stick to actually wash the second story windows. It wasn't just a squeegee with a Windex. It was like a professional equipment. That's why it was kind of expensive. Went out knocking. I was like, okay, let's see if this works. This guy was selling his services for $250 per house. I was like, okay, I'll match his price. I'll do the same thing. Start knocking. I think within my 10th house that I knocked, I got my first sale. I'm like, wow, okay, this actually works. Like, I just made $250, and took me an hour to clean the house and maybe half an hour of knocking. So I was like, wow, in an hour and a half, I was able to make $250. So I called my friend who I worked with at the door-to-door company, told him what I was doing, asked him, I'm like, do you want to join me? You want to start knocking with me? I'll pay you $100 for every window, for every sale you get me. He was like, okay, let's do it. So I hired him. So within a week, we were pretty much averaging 2 to 3 sales per day. I also hired a friend of mine to do the service itself, to clean the windows. So that allowed us to have more time to actually knock and get more sales. And yeah, within a month, we were able to we made first month about 7 grand. And second month, once everything was a bit more established, like we had our pitch down when we were selling door to door, we knew what were like the common objections. We were kind of able to overcome them, so we got a bit better. And also with my friend that we just recently hired, it was a lot easier for us to focus full on selling rather than selling and doing the service delivery. So that's basically how I grew my business. I'm not really making this video to show off. What I'm trying to do is kind of explain to you guys that I do realize that having an online business is kind of the cool thing to do. Like it's fun, you can work from your computer, you can travel around the world, you have location freedom. I do agree that's the goal. But if you're starting out and you don't have much experience in entrepreneurship, I do believe that starting a business similar to mine is the best thing you can do. You'll learn how to sell if you go door to door, which is very important in any business. You'll learn customer satisfaction. So make sure the customer is happy with the service that you're delivering, and all of the little logistics between kind of coordinating your jobs with your technician, the person who's doing the service delivery, making sure payment is collected, learning how to negotiate, handle problems. Oh, my equipment doesn't work anymore. What do we do? I think you learn a lot of very basic skills that are needed in pretty much any business. And afterwards, after I did that with kind of this knowledge, I went back to my online business, and I was granted it was harder than my kind of this window cleaning business that I started, but I was able to scale that to 10 grand a month as well, which is what I'm doing now full time. If you guys are starting out, you don't really know what business to start, learn how to sell door to door, and then sell a service. It doesn't have to be window cleaning. It can be car washing, landscaping, snow removal. There's a bunch of things you guys can do when it comes to like residential services. Find one that you like. If there's one that you already know, perfect. If not, you can learn it. It's not difficult. And then go door to door and start selling your service. I truly believe that's the best way you guys can start a business on your own. Yeah, I know it sucks. Like you physically have to go out somewhere, spend a couple of hours knocking, talking to random people. But in my mind, like if you don't have a business, you're probably working a regular part-time job, like a retail job. You're already spending 8 hours in some random building talking to random clients. So if you're doing that, you might as well just start a business similar to mine. It's pretty much the same thing. You'll be making a lot more money and you'll be learning how to run a business, which is going to be super valuable once you actually start your online business, or even if you want to focus on that type of business, you can grow that. I stopped that business because we are kind of approaching the winter season, and there's not really a market to clean windows during winter. But if I lived somewhere where it was sunny all year round, I most likely would have continued that. You hire more people, more technicians, you hire more salespeople, you teach them how to sell door to door, and then you can grow your business from there. So yeah, that's my experience, my journey. A little insight at the end. I kind of went off topic, but you get the idea. I hope you guys can learn from my experience and replicate something similar to mine. It's not difficult. You guys can do it. You just have to put in the hard work and learn. Maybe spend a week or two learning how to sell door to door. I will be making videos on my script and kind of different negotiation techniques and how to overcome objections to help you guys make more sales and increase your conversion rate. But yeah, this is gonna be all for today's video. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next one.